Hi, everybody. Welcome to Life Stories. I'm Shara Goswick, your host, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today on the podcast, I speak with Maddie and Cambry from the Fly High Project. What they are doing with this nonprofit that they created is our word of the week.
It's the word of the week.
Our word of the week is honor. Maddie and Cambry had a friend when they were young who passed away tragically. This year, they would all be graduating seniors, and they wanted to do something to honor the memory of their friend. Showing honor to someone is showing respect to someone. And even though their friend is no longer here, they are showing respect to her family and to her name. And they wanted to do something special. I think it's amazing that these girls have taken on this goal for a nonprofit organization. If you've ever started a nonprofit or know anything about it, it's a lot of work. And I'm very impressed with what they've put into this. I'm impressed with their goals. I think it's a beautiful project, and I can't wait to share this conversation with you. Thanks you for listening. Have a great day. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to share this. So I was telling Lauren, we love butterflies at our house. My husband has planted, we built a house 4 years ago. He's planted flowers around our entire perimeter. And so we have lots of butterflies and bees and everything. So we love our butterflies. My granddaughter's bedroom here is decorated in butterflies. So butterflies are special. So I just love what y'all are doing. But really, what I want you to do is tell me how or why you started the Fly High Project. Whatever made you want to do this?
Um, so backstory, we went to Jack Elementary, which is in Tyler, and my best friend Kayla Gomez Orozco, we became best friends in second grade, and then in fourth grade, she passed away,
Right.
and so I've always wanted to do something for her, like keep her memory alive. Like it's very important to me. Um, anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm Maddie, by the way.
Yes.
And um, our junior year, we went to a student council retreat,
Mhm.
and we originally just wanted to go get a day off school and like a catered lunch. And then we went there, and the mayor spoke to us there, and he was talking, and he said, "You might feel stuck living in a small town and like feeling as though you can't do anything here. I know a lot of you guys are about to graduate or going like rising seniors, but if you're passionate about something and you want to make an impact on other people's lives, you're the only one stopping yourself." And then that night, Cambria and I were hanging out, and we began talking about how we couldn't believe like the next year would have been our graduation year and Kayla's graduation year. And the ideas kind of started rolling. And like we really had nothing, we had nothing except the idea of like butterflies and doing something in Kayla's memory.
And we just kept
And we
talking.
kept talking and talking and talking and planning. And that's how it kind of started formulating.
Mhm.
I
But
love that. And, one of the things I was going to point out was y'all inspired me not just because of the butterflies and the cool thing that you're doing, but also as young as you are. I know you're all grown up and you're, about to graduate, but I mean, I thought I knew everything at 17. Um, you're young to start something like this. And to me, that is very impressive. And it shows people it doesn't matter how old you are, you can do something impactful at any age. And so that's one thing I love that y'all are doing this. And the other thing I thought about, I read about Kayla's story
mhm.
and I wondered what it was like to process that kind of grief for y'all when you were so young. Because now, I mean, grief is grief no matter how old you are. But what was it like processing that with your friend when y'all were just little kids?
Um, so we first found out in 2016,
Mhm.
and I was 10. I guess you were 9 turning 10.
Yeah.
And at first it was just kind of like, I actually remember walking in to the house and my mom was on her phone and she was like, "Hey, like, can your like was it your best friend like Kayla? It's what's her last name?" And like when she read off like the news, it kind of just felt like it wasn't like real yet.
Right.
Like it was just like something she said. And I was like, oh, okay. And it didn't really process. Like I was just like, oh, like maybe that was like a dream, like that didn't really like happen.
Yeah.
And then the next morning there was an assembly with all of our grade, and it was our principal and some teachers like basically telling all the kids what was happening, and
Right.
just all that situation, and I had to leave the room because I couldn't like keep my emotions together, and I kind of got escorted out of the room. So it was definitely, it was a new feeling that I had to process, but
Sure. Well,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
when you're younger, you always hear about that stuff, but you never hear about it. Like, you always hear about it through like the news, but you never think that it would happen at your school.
Right.
And it's just
Right.
weird. I remember I went home from school. I think it happened on a Wednesday, yeah. And I went home and my parents like sat me down on the couch and they're very blunt and they told me what happened. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
what? And then I went to school the next day and I remember like police officers were at the school. It was very weird, especially as I was like a 9-year-old
Yeah.
looking at all of this. And I remember the assembly too. It was strange. And then there was also like um we had a school candlelight vigil and then there was a balloon releasing and search parties and a bunch of different things, but it was like a very big deal. I feel like it wasn't just a big deal to our school but also like Tyler, because first
Yeah.
off we were younger and then also it was like things like that don't really happen in our town
Sure.
normally.
Sure. Well, I know she would be so honored with what y'all are doing. So talk to me about your nonprofit. Talk to me about Fly High Project.
the Fly High project, it's we wanted something that wasn't just going to hit a certain age group. We wanted to get everyone involved. With we raise money and fund money to donate butterfly kits
Yeah.
at each classroom within Tyler ISD and hopefully more districts. But this upcoming year will just be Tyler. And we hit the elementary schools with like little kids experiencing the
cycle of life,
yeah,
and like
and
education. And then we want to so we hit like we have three different objectives or main objectives. We have like the education aspect, which is donating the butterfly kits, and then we have a scholarship fund. So all of the excess money that we don't put into the butterfly kits, we're putting into a scholarship fund that we're going to award to somebody within our grade at graduation. And then the third objective is like children advocacy. And so we're trying or like attempting to partner with the Child Advocacy Center of East Texas. And we're wanting to implement like a safe code parent education program in the elementary schools. So like, if you have a friend pick up your child and they like, instead of just them being like, hey, your mom told me to pick you up today, and them just getting in the car and be like, the code would be strawberry. Hey, your mom told me to pick you up today. They said to tell you strawberry. Oh, like my daughter or son knows it's safe to get in the car. And it's just like little things like that to make
Right.
more safe. And it's nothing like crazy, but that's like the program that we're trying to implement within the elementary schools around East
Sure.
Texas.
That's so
But
smart. I love that. And I was going to ask you about the programs. You talked about education and scholarships and then community awareness and community involvement. How can people help you besides donating? What can people do to help your cause?
a big thing that a lot of people do is just to share the story.
Yeah.
I know through our social medias, a lot of people have been sharing and just like telling people about it. When we had our pop-up on Saturday, we had a lot. I knew you guys were going to be out here. That's why I wanted to make it like an appearance. And we had people donating, not just buying stuff. So it was nice.
That's
yeah, we
great.
shirts, necklaces, and we're
Yeah.
trying to like expand to like earrings and stuff. But it's just little things that we can fundraise and then use that money to buy or not like buy more butterfly kits and then also put it in the scholarship fund and use it for other things that we're trying to implement.
That's awesome. Do you have any more fundraising plans? Like, are y'all planning on doing certain things, or are you just kind of?
So we've been going out to businesses and we are 501c3 certified. So
Yes.
that's what we do. That was our main thing. And then now we've been trying to get community involvement. And so we went to the like the farmers market thing. That's like what we did this past weekend. And then next weekend we're going like an hour and a half away or an hour.
And Grand Saline, there's a
Yeah.
salt festival. So we'll be there
Yeah,
Saturday.
it's like a concert thing, and we're doing like an all-day pop-up festival because I feel like we feel like the story doesn't really just align to East Texas, but I feel like it could be all around.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. This could be all over. This could be all over. Is there any other plans, like any other fun things you're going to be doing besides festivals or farmers markets, or, do you, maybe you don't have it planned yet, maybe something you're thinking about in the future, something big?
We really wanted to do a butterfly release, but then
Yeah.
it's to manage, so we're trying to get to that point.
Do you have to
We
do the whole, like I have a friend that buys the kits and then do you have to do all that before you can do butterfly release, or do you just get butterflies and release?
So the butterflies start out as caterpillars. We've actually like raised them ourselves numerous times to see
We
like the
bought like
lifespan.
5 kids.
Did
Yeah.
you? I want to do that so bad. It looks like so
It's actually
fun.
really cool.
Yeah.
It's fun even for us. And so
Yeah.
they start as caterpillars and then they cocoon and then they become the butterflies. It's not very hard at all. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's very like, maintainable for teachers in classrooms. Like my mom's a teacher and I know she never wants a class pet because there's so much work, but it's not
Yeah.
really, it's only like a 3-week process
Yeah.
overall. And we want to be able to have like a butterfly release, but we don't know how to like grow all of them at the same time because that's just a
Oh
lot to
gosh.
maintain.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure that out. And then also, we've had some people be confused about the butterflies, like, oh, why'd you choose butterflies?
Mhm.
But we feel like, Camber, you're good at this one.
Um, Butterflies to me, first butterflies were one of her, like she has butterfly necklaces and stuff growing up,
Yeah.
like she likes butterflies
Yeah.
and it just resembles like just the cycle of life, and flying high is really like flying high, achieving your goals, like
Right.
lifting above. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like the other step in life. Like you're really just growing up, you're living your life, something that she really couldn't do. So I want to live like, you know.
Yeah, finally taking the final step from going from the cocoon to the butterfly, like something that our friend couldn't be able or get the chance to do.
I love
So that's what
that.
the butterfly resonates with.
Yeah.
Our goal was not to necessarily tell the kids exactly the vulgar details of what happened. That's
Right.
not what we do.
Right.
People
Right.
are to tell the story. I'm like, not necessarily. Maybe like, hey kids, remember like don't talk to strangers.
Right.
But
Mhm.
it was really just they have a hands-on learning experience, something that they hopefully will remember. Like, oh, like we saw like really pretty butterflies and we got to release them. Like it really just was an experience for them.
Because
Yeah.
it's one thing to see it in the textbook, and then it's another thing to be able to like see it in front of you. And I feel when I was younger, my mom used to order like ladybug kits and butterfly kits, and it's like one thing to see it, and not every kid gets to do that in school,
Right.
especially. It's one thing to be able to do it, like see it on like a book, but it's another to be able to like witness it in person.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, all the things have just kind of come together perfectly. We talked to a bunch of people about it, and some people weren't very supportive about it in the beginning. Also, they were like, um, we don't feel like you guys should bring up the past. We don't feel like that would really do good. And we were like, but we really want to do something. And so we
Right.
talked to her parents and
We've been very close contact
I
with her
was
with,
going to
family.
ask about that if you were involved with her family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we okay, so we went to the house, her house that she had when she was younger, because I was like, oh, maybe like by chance they're still there. We ended up going up there, knocking on the door, and it was her brother, her older brother, like bought the house from the parents.
Oh, yeah.
I introduced myself and they're like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe you're like older now. Like they like remembered me, and we just
Yeah.
talked to them through it and the whole family, and they were just really supportive about it.
Good.
Her mom especially was really excited about the whole thing, which we were kind of surprised because we were like hesitant if she would want to do something again, but she was stoked about it and really
Good.
liked the idea.
Mhm.
Good. It would be really cool if y'all could do that at graduation, just because, it would be like she was there, that would be really neat if y'all could do that. Well, I love this program. I think it's beautiful. And I hope maybe I can run into you someday at one of these little events that y'all are going to be in because I'm local. I think she would be very honored to know what you're doing. And I just think it's special. And like I said, y'all may be young, but what you're doing is impactful. And I think that you're going to encourage other people your age or other students that they can do something too. You don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to have this fancy job. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can do something impactful and kind. And so I think it's very special. I love it. Is there anything else you want to tell me? Anything I didn't ask about?
I feel like it's just been a learning experience for the both of us.
I bet.
We were taken aback about how many like obstacles we had to go through. Like we had to talk to the Secretary of the State, we had to get an attorney, we had to talk to an accountant. Like
we talked to the mayor, we thanked the mayor, and he was it was a lot to go through, like with the accountants and the attorneys handling the business side of it. But I feel like it was very insightful because obviously we learned a lot.
Yeah, I bet. I bet you did.
All of like the social medias, the website, everything. It's been interesting with like the business side of it, but also getting everybody in the community to like everybody in the community's support and stories have also been good, you know. It's turned something that it was like very taboo. Nobody really talked about it to something that's like more uplifting and like, oh, like it's turned it into not a good thing, but I don't know.
I know what you're saying. It's not that you need to remember the bad part of it, but you really are doing something to honor her, and you're honoring her family. And I think that's wonderful. I think it's
it was great. At the pop-up, there was like 20 of her family members that came.
Oh, wow.
They all wore pink because pink is our color.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I'm so glad they got to be there for that. I'll tell you this, I was in first grade and we had a little incubator with eggs with chicks in them, and they had, we got to watch them hatch. They were in there. That was a long time ago because I'm old and I remember it very vividly. So when these first graders get these kits and they get to do, they're not going to forget that. They're going to remember it. It's going to be very special. So, well, thank y'all for talking to me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting us.
And I will email you as soon as this is edited and ready to go.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.